Recently, I got a new map update for my Tesla navigation that was called 2021.44.13555. I got this back on February 7th, but I haven't had a whole lot of time to go out and really test it yet, at least not with a camera. So today I set out to go really see if I could notice any differences in a few spots that I've really been having some challenges, and I believe they're mostly attributed to my navigation. The first one was at the end of this neighborhood right here, where there's a turn to the right, but instead of going into the actual turn lane, it turns right into the bus lane. It doesn't really matter that there's solid white lines there, it crosses them every time anyway. Now I don't know if this is actually a mapping issue or not, but I thought maybe it was. So we went out to test it out, and today, once again, it turns right into that bus lane, no changes there. So I guess that's not fixed. Next, I headed out to a street light that I've never been able to get the car to drive through. Even if there's no cars, green light, or if there is cars, green light, everyone's going through, it doesn't matter. The car would always stop at that intersection regardless when it was on full self-drive. Now on my way there, I got put in this construction zone here, and you can see that the car took the route and it was gonna actually do really good. But one thing you notice in these construction zones like this is the road is constantly being twisted and turned, and the car is constantly fighting to get back into its lane, the one that originally knows it's supposed to be in. You can see that I eventually had to take over here because it just got a little bit too crazy. I put it on and off about 3 times during this construction zone, but at the end of the day, you would never even, not even 1%, trust it here to just drive for you through that. So now up ahead here is the light in question. Now this is so simple, there's nothing to it. It is just one main road through here. There's just a light that turns to the right to go into a strip mall area, and the car should have no problems here. There's nothing obstructing anything. The car can clearly see all of the lights, and for the first time ever, we actually went through this light. I was actually quite surprised and quite excited. I know it seems so silly and small, but it's these little improvements that eventually add up to this being a very useful navigating car. From here, I figured we'd go ahead and try a nice parking lot challenge since it's been a month or so since we've done one. This time I chose a different location, and you can see in here it's actually going to be quite challenging. I'm starting in the middle of this parking lot here. It needs to turn left out of the lot and then make a couple turns through even a roundabout, of course a really tight corner after that roundabout, and make its way into another parking lot. So here we go. I put it into autopilot, and right away it does a perfect turn, finds its way into the main way through this parking lot, and it did a really great job there. It comes at the stop sign just fine here, and then over to the left, you can't see it that well, but there's another, it's like a 3-way stop. It's kind of interesting. The car sees other cars coming, it waits its turn as we just saw, and gets over into that far right turn. The wheel gets a little bit crazy going back and forth here, and I am kind of in the other lane as well, but overall it's fine. Cars can still pass me. So it did a really good job getting through that, which so far I've been really impressed with because I have never been able to get out of that parking lot so far, although I did start from a different parking spot this time. So next up here comes the actual roundabout, and this one we've had some really weird issues with on this one, which is why I keep coming back to this. Right here I got an insane brake stop there, just totally stopped me, and right now I'm actually pressing on the accelerator to make it go. It just did not want to go. I don't know if this is a mapping issue, I don't know what it's saying, but it finally did go into the roundabout here. And then, but just the wheel was just really jerky all over the place. And you can see there, I almost had to take over. The blue wheel stayed there. I didn't actually have to do it, but I was very close and very ready. But it did actually make it, but man, was it ever nerve-wracking. I think most people, if they weren't doing what I do and testing this stuff out, if they were just riding on full self-drive, they would have never let the car do what I just let it do there. Very high risk of feeling like it was going to hit something, and it did a really great job getting me once past that into this parking lot, and eventually turned me to the right here into the actual parking lot. And I don't know, it just ended up doing really good on that after that one spot. But overall on that whole event, you know, I don't know, 50-50, because it got me there, but man was I terrified. So because of that, I thought, let's do this in reverse here. So this time I started from a moving start. So I'm moving here, I put it in, and here it has to turn right into a crosswalk. So it goes over a crosswalk, over to a crosswalk. So it's being nice and cautious, which I like. I like it when it does things slowly. The only problem is I feel like 25 mile an hour is too fast to be in a parking lot, especially this one, but it did get the speed really quickly. So this time I didn't adjust it down, but I typically do. It just seems a little bit crazy. And then here it kind of wanted to go towards that curb, but it did correct itself back out of there. I think it was trying to center itself in whatever it thought was the lane back there. Next, we made the turn back towards the roundabout here. And again, these are just yields here. They're not stop signs. So the car is not supposed to technically stop here unless there is a car coming, but it stops at the crosswalk. And then I actually had to press the accelerator there to make it go. Now the car is going again on its own. This time it goes around the roundabout really well, keeping off the curb, keeping well centered. No cars really came to test it, but it did a good job getting out of there. And then right here, I had it turning into the actual post office, and it went ahead and got into the turn lane, which is actually really nice because I don't think I've ever seen the car use a turn lane before, and then it took in, and then I took over right here. This is one area that I do wish that they would improve on. These merges, they do put the car to the very, very last second before they make the car actually merge in. And if there was a lot of other traffic there, especially people that didn't want me to merge in, you find yourself in a bit of a pickle. So I just wanted to test that out, and it looks like they are still making you go to the end. I was kind of hoping that maybe the map update would, notice that it was a lane that did merge with another and would work on getting you over sooner, but it does not look like that is the case. So overall in this map update, I do think that there are some noticeable changes. I did get through from one parking lot to another, which I've never done before. I did go through a light that I've never been able to drive through before, but there were definitely some areas that are map driven, such as turning out of that neighborhood, and a few others like that where I feel like maybe there could have been more improvement, or maybe it's something entirely different. I guess we'll see. But that's gonna wrap up this small little map update drive here. Thanks again for watching. Don't forget we have product reviews coming up on Wednesday, as well as tips video and tutorials on Fridays. And for all of you guys who have already subscribed to the channel, thank you so much, and who have left a like, thank you very much. And if you haven't yet, please consider subscribing.